ようこそ領域挽回。
Hey, anime fans! In this video, we are going to talk about Season 4 of Classroom of the Elite, which just wrapped up with its 16th episode on June 24th. Before we dive into the season, there's some great news. Season 5 of Classroom of the Elite has already been officially announced. Production has been confirmed, although we still don't have a release date. I'm really excited for what's coming next, and I hope you guys are too. Now, let's talk about everything that happened in Season 4. Season 4 begins with Ayanokoji and Class D entering their second year at Advanced Nurturing High School. However, a new threat is already waiting for him. We know that acting chairman Tsukishiro is determined to expel Ayanokoji and plans to send students connected to the White Room after him. The first special exam requires every second-year student to pair up with a first-year student. Any pair that fails to meet the required score will face expulsion. This creates a major problem for Ayanokoji because if he accidentally partners with a White Room student, he could be set up and expelled. At the same time, a separate special assignment is secretly offered to selected first-year students. The reward is an incredible 20 million private points for anyone who successfully expels Ayanokoji. Hosen, with behind-the-scenes assistance from Amasawa, attempts to take advantage of this opportunity. However, Ayanokoji sees through their plan from the very beginning. In one of the season's most shocking moments, he deliberately allows himself to be stabbed, using the incident to gain leverage over Hosen and force him to cooperate. As a result, Ayanokoji secures a safe partner who is not connected to the White Room and also helps arrange suitable partners for his classmates. Meanwhile, Ayanokoji scores a perfect 100 on the exam, winning his bet against Horikita. Because of that bet, Horikita is forced to join the student council. After that, the next major special exam begins, the Uninhabited Island Survival Test. This exam is even more troublesome for Ayanokoji. Not only does he have to deal with acting chairman Tsukishiro and the first-year students targeting him, but Student Council President Nagumo also decides to make things difficult for him. With enemies coming from multiple directions, the situation seems worse than ever. However, unlike before, Ayanokoji received support from almost every second-year leader. The only notable exception is Kushida. Both Sakayanagi and Ryuen play their own roles in protecting Ayanokoji's path and preventing others from interfering with him too much. Nagumo, despite all of his confidence and influence, doesn't accomplish much against Ayanokoji. In fact, after taking a single punch from him, he is knocked unconscious, ending their confrontation rather quickly. Meanwhile, Nanase, who initially opposed Ayanokoji and was suspected of being connected to the White Room plot, eventually ends up working alongside him. Amasawa also reveals that she has no intention of harming him and lets him know that she is not his enemy. At the same time, Koenji makes a bold deal with Horikita. He promises that if he finishes the exam in first place, he will be granted complete freedom for the rest of his school life. Confident in his abilities, Koenji goes all out and ultimately wins the entire exam, securing his independence exactly as promised. But the biggest challenge comes on the final day of the test. Tsukishiro had already prepared a backup plan. If the students failed to expel Ayanokoji, he intended to lure him to a remote area of the island and remove him by force. Fortunately, Ayanokoji had already learned about this plan from Ichinose, who overheard the conversation. During this time, Ichinose also confesses her feelings to him. Knowing exactly what was coming, Ayanokoji heads to the meeting point prepared. There, he finds himself facing both Tsukishiro and Shiba-sensei in a 2-versus-1 battle. Just when the situation becomes dangerous, Ryuen arrives and decides to help him, turning the fight into a 2-versus-2 confrontation. With Ryuen handling Shiba, Ayanokoji focuses entirely on Tsukishiro. Even against the acting chairman, Ayanokoji demonstrates his overwhelming abilities and gains the upper hand. However, rather than finishing the fight, he reveals that he has already contacted the teachers. Realizing their plan has failed and reinforcements are on the way, Tsukishiro and Shiba are forced to retreat. As a result, Ayanokoji successfully protects himself and prevents his expulsion once again. By the end of the season, Horikita's class manages to climb back up to Class C, while Ichinose's class falls to Class D. The second-year battle continues, but the balance of power has shifted once again. And that's where Season 4 comes to an end. But one question remains, is the White Room's threat finally over, or is this only the beginning of an even bigger conflict in Season 5? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more anime content.